being in business for yourself can be both an adventure and terrifying all at the same time. Many would call being in business almost like being on a roller coaster where there's enormous peaks of excitement and terrifying valleys. But really, all roller coasters, all businesses go through three phases as they're really expanding and growing. There's the build phase, the grow phase, and the scale phase. So let me break this down with a couple of ideas for each. If you find yourself at the beginning stages of your business, well, nothing wrong with that. You're at the build stage. You may be moving from an idea to a business venture and actually starting to sell your mastery for the very first time. When you're in the build phase, it's important to think of yourself as an established business already. See, you have been in business for yourself even before you left your job as an employee. Think of yourself like you incorporated. So if your name is David, it's David Incorporated, or Samantha Incorporated, or Jan Incorporated. You may have one client today, your current employer, and they're your biggest client. But see, you Incorporated doesn't change when you become a business owner for yourself. When you take on that mindset, it gives you a confidence that now you Incorporated and Eric Incorporated is jumping into business for yourself to seek more or additional clients for the business. You Incorporated doesn't change, and in the build phase, taking on the confidence and the mantle of You Incorporated can really help. And for some of you, that phase where you're doing all of the things, you are the technician, you are the manager, you are the entrepreneur and the salesperson and all things for your business, that phase is an honorable phase. Step into it with confidence. And for some of you, you desire to grow a little bit beyond that. And so that brings you to the grow phase of business. In the grow phase, we know it's more than just you. This is the time for you to be bringing on freelancers or contractors, maybe hiring some of that early staff to join you in the adventure of business. So at this stage, you want to set aside some cash so that you can afford to hire those contractors and understand that when you hire maybe an editor or some other technician, it allows you to truly elevate to your unique value that you can generate for client engagements. So by hiring, say for instance, an executive assistant or administrative assistant, it does allow you to hire more of a technician, which may be you, in order to sell more of your time because they're taking care of your billing. So in the grow phase, it's all about thinking strategically. How do you trade up your time to create more and more value in order to create opportunity in that wake of blessing for others that are joining your team? Realize this, that in a bottle, like think of a bottle of Coca-Cola or Pepsi, the bottleneck is always at the top of the bottle. And so for you to really advance through the growth stage, it's about releasing control to others that are on your team so that you can have a bigger and bigger container. You're always the bottleneck as the leader and the top of that org structure. So be thinking about how do you delegate and trade your time so that you can truly elevate the value that you bring to your client engagements. So the grow phase includes bringing others along on the journey. And over time, that brings us to the scaling phase. See, not everybody has a vision to truly scale their business and their operation. Scale is when you have outsized growth and start adding zeros behind those invoices and ultimate financial reports. Scale is where you really start to hockey stick and feel outsized business growth at a rapid pace. In order to scale, it requires having a team. A couple of ideas to share with you here is to hire what cannot be outsourced. You heard that. Hire in terms of W-2 employees, what cannot be outsourced. So this might be account management or strategists. This might be, different key technical roles, creative director roles that cannot be outsourced, and outsource everything else that can indeed be sent to a contractor. That's a piece of advice I just want to share with you if you're entering into the scale phase. Another is about systems. It's really important in the scaling phase that you've got documented process that is followed by everybody in your organization that allows business to occur and to repeat and to happen, even if you're absent. See, most businesses can run without the owner, a self-employed, maybe not, but in a business, when you got employees that are working there, most businesses tend to be able to run for a week or two without the owner. But the question is, can your business grow without you being there? See, that's, when you're really seeking to have business growth, even in your absence, it requires systems, structure, and team to really lift it to that next level of growth. And so the only way to get there is through documented process and the right team members to be on. So build, grow, and scale. There's certainly nuances to each phase of business, but hopefully a couple of these tips can help encourage you if you find yourself in one of those three. So the question is, what kind of a business do you want? Whether it's build, grow, or scale, these tools and principles can help bring you the life and business that you hope for.